Our next movie is named Cocktail, and this is the saga of a handsome young Manhattan bartender played by Tom Cruise. Fresh out of the service, he gets a job bartending in a slick Upper East Side saloon where he comes immediately under the influence of a veteran bartender and philosopher played by Brian Brown. Brown teaches him the ropes, which include never pouring too much of a heavy drink, develop a routine, work the crowd, collect tips, keep your eyes open for a rich chick who can support you, and give you money to open your own bar. That's the important one. Here's one of the movie's best sequences as the two bartenders do their act together.
1, 2, 3, go!
With that choreography, I doubt if they can pour very many drinks in an hour, but at least it's fun to watch. You may remember Brian Brown there from FX, one of the big recent video hits. The two friends are so successful they move to an exclusive private disco where Tom Cruise's big brown eyes attract a lot of fans.
You gotta let me take your picture.
What for?
When you're a big celebrity, I'll put you in Rolling Stone magazine.
Right.
My protege. I discovered you.
Ah, that's great. Can you move aside, though? I can't fit you both in.
Excuse me.
Later, working as a bartender in Jamaica, Cruise stops playing the field long enough to develop a sincere love for Elizabeth Shue. But then he leaves her for a rich woman, and when he comes back to New York to apologize, she's hard to convince.
Did you say you'd like to see the specials, sir? I'd like to see the specials.
Look, you know, we've been waiting.
Today's specials are meatloaf mozzarella, chicken a la king. May I suggest some ketchup for your fries?
On the surface, at least, Cocktail is a slick entertainment with some colorful locations. It moves well, it has great dialogue moments, and Tom Cruise and especially Brian Brown create an interesting relationship. The kid who takes advice from a veteran who realizes that he doesn't have very much good advice to give. Their performances are good, but the movie milks all kinds of serious questions for whatever entertainment value they have, and then forgets all about them. For example, the movie makes a big deal of how Cruise is looking for a rich chick. So Elizabeth Shue doesn't reveal that she's a rich chick. Then her father throws the couple out and tells them they're on their own, and Cruise, who has now cured himself of this search, sounds real noble when he says that's just fine with him. But then we find out that within a few months, he owns his own fancy New York saloon. Well, you don't open one of those for peanuts. So that means that Cruise did take money. The movie just ignores that by turning up the rock and roll on the final freeze frame. Cocktail is a brainless movie with pretensions. I would have liked it more if it had possessed the courage to be just a silly love story.
Well, here's what I think what's wrong with the movie, and that is the love story. I thought that the most interesting part of the film, and I guess you did too, was the opening, the relationship of those two men.
Yes.
If you had taken the tutor who knows less than he thinks and the young impressionable man and followed them through the city of New York as they went through some kind of pyramid scheme together, make them the heart of the movie, then you would have had a fascinating film, similar to The Color of Money in terms of the relationship of tutor to pupil also with Tom Cruise. But the love story is totally ridiculous. I mean, it's just absolutely predictable. You know who he's going to end up with. We know that right from the beginning, and we know that he's going to be tempted and thrown and come back with her. The love story is not in character and sync with the first part of the film.
I was just suggesting that if they had a silly love story, it would have been better than all of their pretensions. But I agree with your, prescription for the relationship between the two.
That's the key. That's what's exciting.
Thing that bothers me. It's hard to keep yourself from thinking during these movies, and that's what you have to do sometimes, because you have to forget that these people are drunk in every scene, but they never have any problem with alcoholism, and they sleep with everybody they come across, and they never think about age. So these people are apparently somehow an exception to the rule that governs everybody else
except
in town.
there are scenes where Cruise knocks over some sculptures twice. So he has something against sculptures. When he gets bombed, he knocks over a sculpture.